to finally meet you.
Nice to finally see your face too. We've been
Rental
talking on the phone long enough.
Estates versus Jacqueline Bow, on behalf of Rental Estates, Mr. Day,
Yes, Your Honor.
and Ms. Densner on behalf of Jacqueline Bow.
Yes, Your Honor. And Your Honor, also on our screen today is my intern. Today's her last day of her internship. She's about ready to graduate. This might be her last day of law school, actually.
Oh, okay.
Lindsay Messenger. Thank you for allowing her to sit
No,
in.
absolutely. And this
Congratulations,
is, this originally back in December, I had a settlement with a consent. And then the consent was to be submitted. And then I got this ex parte motion on an emergency for, to stay the eviction. And I think that's where we're at today.
There was a consent judgment entered, and there was also a writ for possession entered. And what's happened is there was a change of attorneys. Ms. Dinser and I were discussing extensions. We got involved in those negotiations. Those broke down, but in the interim, Ms. Bow paid rent through the end of March. However, she didn't exactly comply with all of the other contingencies that we had in this thing. So that's why we were going forward with an eviction, because we had broke down on the settlement extension negotiations. And here we are today. She still has a judgment. We have a judgment for possession for us, and she has outlived the rent payments that she's made, and my clients would like to get possession back. They have been wanting to get possession back from her since September of last year.
I have that is there a CDC deck on this file?
And we are, this case is be outside of that, because this is a not a non-payment of rent. This is expiration.
Pardon?
This is an expired lease, Your Honor. This is not a non-payment of rent.
I'm just saying because of the front of the file, it makes a comment about a CDC. So that's why I'm asking.
Yeah, I went through that with the clerk's office, and I read all the instructions, and that does not apply to this particular case.
Ms. Densner? Denser?
Yes, Your Honor.
Your argument.
I don't really have one, Your Honor, other than, my client, the consent order that was entered originally in December, she did not consent to, all right? Her attorney signed that for. I've got text messages between her and Mr. Berg where she says, do not sign that consent order. You do not have my authority to sign that. And so she didn't think that there was a consent order because she had told him not to sign it. And then the eviction went through. And I have been trying to do damage control since the day I got hired on this file. I'm dealing with a client who is deathly ill. She's terminal. She has cancer. She's doing chemo, all-day infusions, 3 to 4 days a week. In the last part of March and the first few days of April, she's been inpatient 8 of the last 12 days. She's in no condition to pack up her stuff and go. I've just been trying to get like another month so that she can get out of town family. Her parents live in Florida. So she can get somebody else to get up here and help her physically move. She just physically cannot do it. For me, when I talked to her on the phone, her voice is very, very weak. I spoke to her before this hearing today. She's in the hospital at the moment getting a chemotherapy infusion. So I've explained to her that, the reality of it. The reality of it is her lease is expired and her landlords are not interested in extending it. And she's just looking for a little bit of mercy at this point to buy her enough time to get out of the hospital.
What were the other things, Mr. Day, besides the fact she's paid rent through the 31st? What else has she not done rent-wise for your client satisfaction? I understand that you want her out. I'm not trying to debate that.
And I gather that there has been a major breakdown in the last 6 months. She has made repeated complaints about the condition of the property. She claimed that the plumbing was bad. Actually, We can't completely trace it, but somehow right after we did the eviction process, there was a massive leak coming from her apartment to the apartment below, which resulted in the complete collapse of the ceiling in the lower apartment. She complained that her electrical system wasn't working. We scheduled to have on 3 occasions the electrician come out to visit. She wouldn't let him into the apartment. She wouldn't let the plumbers come in the apartment until the second or third try.
Okay,
She
but the
also-
plumbers have been in, that issue was resolved.
Plumbers have been in, that has been resolved. She has continued to, and again, I don't want to get into too much, but basically make defamatory statements about the landlords and the condition of the property,
Well,
whatever.
yeah, I don't care about that
And
at this
again, I
moment.
understand that. It's just that,
But here's my comment.
okay,
This is just set for a hearing today. I can have a full-blown trial, which I'll schedule in 30 days, or you guys can agree to a move-out date of 30 days.
Either one works for me, Your Honor, because that's exactly what my goal was today, was to buy her a little bit more time to get out of the hospital, get her parents up from Florida, to help her find a new place and move her
I mean,
stuff.
she's entitled to a full-blown hearing on this, and so we
Would
could
that- would that
schedule
be-
that.
would that be conditioned on her posting rent?
Well, she's got to
April?
pay, she's got to pay
She'll
April's
pay the
rent.
rent, Your Honor.
Yeah,
I will have
yeah,
her pay the
of
rent for
course.
April. Absolutely. Paying her rent has never been a problem. She's never been late on the rent. That's not once has their complaint been that. It's other things, but it's not that she doesn't pay.
But 30 days, and your clients can have the property back,
If
you
the
know.
court, could we do it this way, Your Honor? If she pays the rent, the court could issue a writ that would be served on May 1 to remove her from the property if she's not out.
Well, that's not 30 days. I would say that the writ could issue on May 8th, which really turns into May 10th, which is the following Monday.
Okay, can she
I'm going
pay
to give her the
a month-
full 30 days.
Pay a month and a half worth of rent?
I
Prorated?
think 10 days of May is not a month and a half, but with the
Well, let's put in
prorated of the
5.
May, the prorated of the 10 days of May, unless she's out by May 1st.
Right, exactly.
Right.
So you guys can work out those details, but the writ's to issue May the 10th if she's not out.
That works, Your Honor. That's, I
And
really,
if she's out by the end of April, she's out by April 30th, then she doesn't owe anything for May, otherwise she owes April rent, okay?
Will she be making the rent payments immediately to my client today?
I will tell her to. She's in the hospital, but I'll tell her
Well,
if she can
But
do
she's
it by
been doing it
Venmo
by
or whatever.
computer.
Yeah, absolutely. She can do it
Yeah.
by computer. She'll do it.
She's got to do it today or tomorrow.
Okay.
Otherwise, you can reach out to the civil department. You're gonna submit an order, correct, Mr. Day?
That's what I was gonna say. You want an order that basically says that she has the right to stay there until the 8th, and a writ will be issued at that point for her to move out, to be served on the 10th.
Yep.
Agree, counsel?
That's fine with me, Your Honor. Honestly, my arguments were limited in number here. I was just trying to buy a very sick woman a little bit more time to get some help up here to get her out. So. you've
All right,
done
you
that.
guys can submit that. If there's a problem and she doesn't pay the rent, get a hold of civil department next week and we'll be back on.
Okay, thank you,
She'll
Your
pay
Honor.
the rent, Your Honor.
Okay.
That's never been an issue. She'll pay the rent.
All right,
Thank
good
you.
enough. That's it.